The age of believing is over. We've now entered the age of knowing. More specifically, the age of believing in urban myths and a biblical fairy tale that literally insults our own intelligence is now over. We've now entered the age of knowing the Black liberating truth of our plight and condition. The truth is that presently white government agents that specializes in psychiatry and propaganda works unrelentingly behind the scenes, constantly manipulating the collective minds of the Black masses. These men govern our minds, molds our opinions, and shapes our perceptions in ways that protects and serves the system of white supremacy. More specifically, they constantly inundates us with fraudulent propaganda that keeps us demoralized, divided, and that keeps our collective progressions shifted away from their white society and redirected towards ourselves. These men also analyzes and studies everything about the Black population, our beliefs, likes, dislikes, strengths, and our vulnerabilities. This surveillance information is gathered and decisions are then made on which best fraudulent stories to produce to best create certain psychological feelings among the Black masses that assist the white society in maintaining its social dominance and control over us. It's how they prevent us from unifying ourselves against them. It's how they ensure that the unprecedented unified Black protest that occurred during the 1960s never happens again. If you don't believe that the white establishment exploits its monopoly over the input of information and media images that are fed into our minds to garner an outcome amongst us that benefits themselves, you are a naive fool. It's the hidden truth that white oppressive forces don't want the Black masses to ever learn. The white American culture is imbued with fear that African Americans will someday repay the violence and oppression that has marred our history in this country. This immense fear resulted in white oppressive forces deploying psychological warfare propaganda campaigns against the African American population. It's how the white society protects itself against massive unified Black retribution. It's deemed as necessary given the fact that African Americans have had a long history of being terrorized by white racism. And if you doubt this coming from me, it's also believed by cultural critic Noam Chomsky. Chomsky says that white America's racism toward the Black Americans is rooted in a fear that the Black victims might rise up and take revenge against the white society, given its long history of Black enslavement, subjugation, and anti-Black discrimination. This immense fear resulted in the white ruling class deploying psychological warfare propaganda campaigns that manipulates the collective minds of the Black masses. It's the true reason why millions of Black people now perceives ourselves as being our own worst enemies and reveres Caucasians in spite of a brutally horrific history of the contrary. This noted mindset that clearly benefits the white society exists among far too many Black people to be coincidental. It's too widespread to be unintentional. It's by deliberate design. Through the white society's monopoly over information and media images that we receive, they've subliminally manipulated our minds to think in ways that benefits their white society. It's always by deliberate design whenever the oppressed starts thinking exactly as the oppressors wants them to think. The general population doesn't know what's happening, and it doesn't even know it doesn't know. That is a quote from Noam Chomsky. The time of believing in idiotic things is over. We must function based on what is true.